all today's goals before the end of the programme this evening. Our live action comes from Ewood Park. It's Blackburn Rovers against Arsenal, title favourites now. Our match commentators Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. Welcome back to Ewood Park, where, of course, a week ago it was Alex Ferguson in the hot seat and Manchester United's championship mettle being put to the test. And certainly they came through with flying colours in a game which Blackburn dominated for long periods. United still took the points. Now it's Arsenal's turn to face the Blackburn Rovers challenge. And what a challenge from a side who, of course, are still the only Premiership club since the competition began to finish ahead of Manchester United in the honours table. Arsenal in red and white get the game underway then, attacking the goal to our left. Nigel Winterburn, one of many who had an outstanding game in the 3-1 victory against Newcastle United on Saturday. Missed just one Premiership match this season, his 11th in that left-back position. And Arsenal's legendary back four finally conceding a goal, their first in 9 Premiership games against Newcastle. Still managed to set a new record for the competition and equalled a club record which had stood for 95 years. And Arsenal's back four threatened early on here. And the new left back Callum Davidson playing it forward. Arsenal get it clear. And Parlour challenged all the way by Davidson, who's just 21. Came here from St Johnstone. He's a Scottish under-21 international and was watched by a number of Premiership clubs before Blackburn finally signed him. Now Bergkamp with the first opportunity here for Arsenal. Oh, what a start! Bergkamp's back and Arsenal are in front.
Well, if we thought that Dennis Bergkamp may take time to settle in, that certainly wasn't the case. And really, there's some sloppy defending here from Blackburn at the back. It's just a simple throw-in. It's actually come off the head of a Blackburn defender. No real covering, but what a finish. What a clinical finish from Dennis Bergkamp. Not a great angle to finish this, but really he kept his calm, his cool, and his composure to drive the ball past Alan Fettis in the inside of Fettis's right-hand post. Superb.
75 seconds it has taken Arsenal to go in front here, and the milestone for Dennis Bergkamp, his 50th goal for the Gunners, his 20th this season. Strangely enough, he'd never scored before against Blackburn Rovers. Well, the championship really is back in the balance now. What a start here for Arsenal.
You've got to say, Alan, that there's some awful defending at the back from Blackburn Rovers. Really, that Blackburn certainly shouldn't have a distinct height problem at the back. Not when you've got Hendry and Honcho, very tall, very commanding, but really sadly lacking in any decent quality defending there.
Here's Vieira trying to play Bergkamp through again. He's missed, of course, 3 matches because of a suspension. Bergkamp, he's in that time been elected the PFA Player of the Year. Darlene at the other end for Blackburn. Swedish international goes down under the challenge, but no free kick given. And those Arsenal fans who have made the long journey north will already feel it was worthwhile. Steve Bold. Seaman's clearance aimed at Anelka. Honcho, the defender. The Swiss international got there first, but Arsenal pick up the second ball with Bergkamp. Vieira. Winterburn. Nice ball outside of the foot. Overmars clips it forward to Bergkamp. Honcho had to be quickly across again.
Well, they're playing with such confidence, Arsenal, at the moment. Really coming into this game at the top of their form. And really, what a fantastic start to this game as far as the away side's concerned. Blackburn really now have got to get composed.
And nothing too composed about that challenge there from Sherwood, who not only tripped over Mars, but seemed to go mighty close to treading on him as he leapt over his body. Free kick.
It's actually come from another throw-in, Alan, and really there's 2 occasions where could have quite easily spelled danger. And once again, they've conceded a goal from the first one. Now Arsenal have got a free kick, and what is a very, very dangerous position.
Steve Bold has come forward. Tony Adams stayed back for this one. Winterburn just got it a little too flat, I think. Here's Parler, though. Vieira having to chase just to keep that in. The return ball for Parler. Did well to make any kind of cross. Confusion between Fetis and Hendry. Blackburn got away with it this time. Remy Gard. Patrick Vieira. Steve Bold still forward from the earlier free kick, and now Manu Petit. Winterburn, Overmars. Checked inside Sherwood. Sets it up for Vieira. He scored from that distance against Newcastle on Saturday. A stunning goal. Now Parler. Vieira. Petit. Winterburn. This is Bergkamp. And Nelka in the middle. And he's found him well. Turn back to Vieira. Difficult ball to control. And finally, Blackburn get a lucky break to come clear themselves with Jeff Kenner. Darlene the target. Adams got there first. Bergkamp couldn't quite feed Anelka this time. And Blackburn shell-shocked by that start. Here's Jason Wilcox, restored again to his favourite position on the left of midfield, but got too much on that through ball. Nigel Winterburn. And again from Bold. Hemmed in by Darlene. But there's always a route out when you play with confidence. And he wasn't afraid to go back to David Seaman. His 5th game back after missing 13 with a broken finger. Parler. Bergkamp. And again, Parler in the clear. What an unbelievable opening Arsenal have made. It's another goal. Ray Parler, the scorer.
Well, once again, this is a magnificent finish. It's not a great angle once again for Parler to try his luck. Very similar, but look at the part that Bergkamp plays. Great composure, great turn. Parler making those superb runs he's done all season, shooting hard and low, the correct place, right across the face of the goalkeeper. Fetis really can't get anything on it whatsoever, and this ball just loops over him, under him, and right into the top of the net. What a great start for Arsenal. Blackburn now, you really just can't see them getting back in this game at all, because they've just got no possession at all. They can't get the ball down. Arsenal are totally dominating.
2 goals inside the first 7 minutes. And both of them will have been dagger blows to the heart of Manchester United fans. That one's over the head of Adams. Darlene touching it on. Remy Gard getting it clear. Bergkamp miscontrolled it unusually. Callum Davidson's interception. Well, I've seen quite a bit of Arsenal in recent weeks, and the incredible thing is, when you think this is their 47th match of the season in League and Cup, there is no sign of fatigue, there's no sign of staleness. They're playing with absolute confidence in each other. They're on the roll to end all rolls, it seems, at the moment. But Blackburn have got the quality to hit back here. Remy Gard had to be on his toes to get that clear. Gary Flitcroft, Petit claiming it was handball, but it's not been given. Blackburn just get a throw.
Well, it's the first time Blackburn have really offered any threat whatsoever, Alan. And it's important that if they are going to get back into this game, they've got to get some supply into the front too. Gallagher and Darlene have been basically starved so much at the moment, and really there's been no supremacy for Blackburn in midfield, and subsequently they can't get any service whatsoever into their front two.
And the inevitable shout of "Are you watching Manchester?" from the away fans as Anelka gets himself into a scoring position. Well, I suppose when you're playing with the confidence that Arsenal are at the moment, Brian, anything's on for a shot.
Well, this is really just down to a great counter-attack. Once again, the two centre-halves have been found wanting. Super ball from Overmars, really in behind them. Great curl on the ball, just allowed Anelka to come onto it. Unfortunately, couldn't get the ball up and over Fetters, else that quite easily have been 3-0. And really, at the moment, Blackburn have got no answer whatsoever to the firepower of the away side.
And Ewood Park living up to its reputation as being the ground which has seen more goals in the Premiership than any other this season. I remember we were here early on against Sheffield Wednesday when goals were flying in at an alarming rate in the first half. And Arsenal are threatening to do likewise tonight. Gallagher, challenged by Bowl. Free kick to Blackburn. Flitcroft finding Darlene, but he was offside.
Well, that's superb defending from Tony Adams. He's really read the script. He knows this ball is going to go in behind him, and he just has to step up. That's great defending. He knows Darlene has made the run very early. Yeah, no doubt whatsoever from the referee's assistant.
Really determined to do well tonight. He made mistakes which led to a couple of goals when Blackburn won 3-1 at Highbury in December. Remember, Arsenal haven't lost a league game since. Kenner spreading it wide to Flitcroft. Darlene, oh, that's a good turn. He was being held, but still got clear. And Adams there again as the last line of defence. Vieira, Petit, Parla, Remy Gard, whose place was doubtful tonight because of a dead leg. He was only past fit a couple of hours before kickoff. Here's Overmars. Petit.
Well, that's unfortunate for Arsenal, but really, you know, Dennis Bergkamp, it was great surprise, the fact that everybody can't believe that he's really just come back and had this sort of impact whatsoever. Great composure, really what you would expect from a top-quality striker, but again, great turn, great through ball, Parler onto it in a flash, superb finish, the finish of a man in great form. It's not bad if you're a manager also when you're up there.
Well, I don't think there's a cooler customer around than Arsene Wenger, but even he leapt out of his seat at the joy of seeing 2 goals in the first 7 minutes. Overmars. Parla. Remy Gard providing width on the right. Bergkamp dropping deep. Looking for Overmars. Vieira. Remy Gard again. Vieira. Looking for Anelka. It's come back to Vieira. And now to Overmars. He's onside. Anelka well placed in the middle. And he was a whisker away from making it 3-0.
Well, Blackburn really are living dangerously at the moment. And Nicholas Anelka is very unfortunate there. I think Colin Hendry has just managed to avert the danger. But just look at the supremacy that Arsenal have got in midfield. They really are changing direction from right to left with great ease. Roy Hodgson must be dismayed at the moment with the amount of time Arsenal are getting.
And Overmars gets another dangerous-looking cross in. Hendry feeling he had to head that one behind.
Well, you think that Roy Hodgson has got to have some strong words and looking for one or two of his players also. This is Overmars getting wide on the left. Fetters gets a hand to it. Hendry, Honcho, managing to get the ball away from Anelka, but really Arsenal are looking so dominant at the moment. It really is through the supremacy they're getting in the middle third.
Petit with the corner. Both Bold and Adams forward. It's gone to Bergkamp. Hit that one brilliantly. And another goal. Unbelievable stuff. Ray Parler's second. Arsenal's third.
Well, you don't normally see this sort of defending at Premier League level, and I just can't believe that Blackburn looks such a good organised side during the majority of this season has allowed this to happen. Bergkamp is in oceans of space. The ball drops very kindly to Ray Parler. What a superb finish, what an easy finish really. Fetters must be thinking, what have I done to deserve this onslaught at the moment?
Well, this is A staggering start by anyone's standards. Manchester United showed their strength of character here a week ago, but Arsenal, I have to say, tonight look like champions.
They've been brilliant, Alan, and full credit to Arsene Wenger, the way he's prepared his side. It's not easy, having won at home against Newcastle, then come into an important game, such a vital game. And of course, looking at Blackburn's performance against Manchester United last week, well, it's incredible that it's the same Blackburn side, because they looked so good against Manchester United last week.
3 goals in the first 14 minutes. 2 of them for Ray Parlour, 1 for Dennis Bergkamp. And I doubt even the Arsenal fans can quite believe what they're seeing here. And Blackburn looks so anxious at the back. It would be a brave man that would say we've seen the end of the goal scoring.
Well, you can't even say the fact that Damien Duff and Chris Sutton aren't playing, because you really think that it's stemmed purely from some poor defending. I've got to say, the middle four for Blackburn, which really have been, for me, the certain engine room as far as Rovers' reasonable success they've had this season, just haven't functioned whatsoever this evening.
Parlour turns it on, more space found by Arsenal. Bergkamp, back to Anelka. Well, he did well there, Davison, in the end, and Fetis just prevented the corner. Well, what a debut for Callum Davidson. This is not one he wants to tell the grandchildren about. Overmars. Winterburn. Now Sherwood, can he get Blackburn moving again? As if it hasn't been a disastrous enough start here for Blackburn. They are, let's remind you, should you have only just arrived in, perhaps travelling back from a game yourself, that Chris Sutton, Blackburn Rovers' leading scorer, is injured and is not in the Blackburn lineup tonight. And Roy Hodgson's face really tells the whole story at the start his team have made. 2 goals for Ray Parlour, 1 for Dennis Bergkamp inside 75 seconds, and Arsenal are absolutely flying. Onshot. Interception by Winterburn.
Well, under normal circumstances, it takes something special to break this back four down, and it really is going to be an incredible achievement if Blackburn can come back from this. But they're going to have to try and get some domination in midfield and really try to string some passes together. At the moment, it's too easy for Arsenal in possession. They're quite easily breaking Blackburn Rovers up at every opportunity, and then they're springing with greater quality.
Well, it's become part of football's folklore, 1-0 to the Arsenal. The Arsenal fans even sing that rather mockingly against themselves. But 3 goals were rattled into Newcastle's net on Saturday. 3 already into Blackburn's tonight. Arsene Wenger says, I don't want to win matches 1-0. I'd far rather it was 2-3-0, and then I can relax a bit more. Well, too early to relax yet. But my word, his team are doing him proud here.
Just look at the possession they're keeping at the moment, Alan. They're stringing 3, 4, 5 passes together, and there isn't really any pressure being put on them whatsoever. Remy Gard, quite easy possession there, and really Blackburn will win it back, but they can't seem to keep the ball for long periods.
Overmars. Bergkamp looking for the ball over the top, so is Hendry, and that's good defending. Now Kenner. McKinley, normally so dominant in those midfield challenges, but he hasn't had a look in yet against Petit and Vieira. And that's Arsenal's throw.
Well, I think they're going to have to try and push Tim Sherwood on more in midfield. It really has been a successful season for him as far as goals scored. 7 coming from that midfield area, but really just can't get over the halfway line. Such is Arsenal's domination in there. And him, McKinley, and really Wilcox and Flitcroft have really had no supremacy whatsoever.
Well, Blackburn have only lost 3 times at home this season in the Premiership. They were all heavy defeats. 4-3 against Leeds back in September, 3-0 against Spurs in February, and 3-1, of course, against Manchester United a week ago. It seems when they do slip up here, they do it big time. Winterburn. Patrick Vieira. Parla finding Remigard. Anelka. Henry's tackle wins it back. Davidson. Darlene. Got in behind Remigard. Adams now facing it. He's done well here. That was a good run by Darlene.
Well, it's going to take this sort of positive commitment from Martin Darlene to really try and put some pressure on this Arsenal back four. That's certainly better as far as Blackburn's concerned. They need to begin to replicate that.
It's a terrific ball from McKinley. Taken in full stride there by Wilcox, but his second touch just took the ball out of play, and Adams' little nudge took him into the advertising hoarding. He's all right.
Pleased to get up. This is a terrific ball from McKinley. McKinley not really been on the ball as often as Blackburn would have liked. It's a great shame for Jason Wilcox. His first touch really is just a little bit too strong, but once again, Adams reading the danger, coming across, quite happy to see the ball, and Jason Wilcox going into the boards.
Well, Blackburn are looking for a miracle. Remember, Arsenal have conceded 1 goal in their last 9 league games. Anelka has decided on a change of footwear. I think a lot of teams in the Premiership would regard going 1 behind to Arsenal as a pretty desperate situation, but 3 behind, Brian.
Well, really, they don't concede an awful lot of goals, as their record has proved over the season. I guess over the last 10 seasons. And it's really going to have it all on Blackburn to do, but I guess we have witnessed some incredible performances here at Ewood Park over the last 12 months. Are we set to see another one?
Gallagher. Winterburn stopped him feeding the ball to Kenner down that touchline. Kenner. Gallagher. Clearance relieves that momentary pressure, and indeed Anelka threatening on show, but now McKinley. Good ball for Wilcox. Sherwood. Look how many red shirts surrounded him then the moment he got the ball. They attack in packs, they defend in packs. Their stamina, their spirit, everything seems right about Arsenal at the moment. Hard to believe you're watching a team who've played so many crunch matches in such a short space of time. They've got 4 games in the last 12 days of the season, and they'll be battle-hardened by then, all right. There's Vieira. On show, wins it back. Davidson. Trying to feed it to Wilcox, but easy interception for David Seaman.
Well, you get the feeling that really Blackburn have got to try and get Kevin Gallagher in the game, but perhaps more importantly Jason Wilcox. Really, Blackburn have not tested Remigard in that right-back position. There was a doubt with him coming into the game that he took a knock against Newcastle, but really the fact that Blackburn haven't had any possession whatsoever has not allowed them to get into wide positions, in particular down that left-hand side, and really look to test guard whenever possible.
Henry. Sherwood. Wilcox making a run down the left touchline. And Parla denied him.
Ray Parla has been the unsung hero as far as Arsenal's concerned this season. He really has produced a great level of consistency, some superb performances, and really there's no surprise that he has been in with a shout for this England squad and perhaps of the England team. But really, look at the room afforded to Bergkamp on the edge of the box. That's criminal, really, and the ball comes down to Parla. Well slammed straight into the back of the net. The first time he scored 2 goals ever in a game, and what a superb performance as far as he's produced. 2 goals. Can he get that hat-trick? Can he really make it a memorable evening?
Anelka Striker's header straight to Callum Davidson. Well, if Arsenal wanted to not exactly switch off, but just drop down a gear and just be professional now and hold on to what they've got, they could be forgiven for taking that view. But somehow I don't think they will. They certainly didn't against Newcastle on Saturday when that game was safely won. They were still going forward looking for more goals. And remember, Manchester United's goal difference was such at one stage that we thought, well, that was an extra point in the bag really for Alex Ferguson's team. Suddenly Arsenal have started scoring to go with their renowned defence, and who knows, maybe even that advantage will be wiped out.
Well, it's not a bad achievement to get 3 goals with only having 5 attempts on target, but as you've rightly said, Alan, they're far too professional, Arsenal, to really allow any complacency to drift in. And it's up to Blackburn now. They've got to take the game to the visitors. They've really got to put them under pressure, and they really have got to step up 1 or 2 gears. And I think that when you look at 1 or 2 dejected faces, the likes of Kevin Gallagher, players of great experience, the likes of Colin Hendry, they really just can't believe it. They are absolutely shell-shocked at the moment.
And still 20 minutes of the first half remaining. Guard. Interception by Sherwood. This is McKinley. Gave it away. Winterburn. Bergkamp. That's a good-looking ball. If Petit can get in behind Onshow. Did well there, the Swiss international. Now Bergkamp again. Vieira. One over the top for Anelka. Good tackle by Henry. That's what Blackburn need now.
It's a fantastic tackle, Alan, really. And Colin Hendry perhaps has got to set the level of performance or the level of comeback that really Blackburn need to produce.
Vieira, Petit. Guard. Sweeping it out to Winterburn. It's a good ball for Bergkamp, just carried too far. The goalkeeper hesitated, however, changed his mind. In it goes towards Anelka, and it reaches Overmars. Sherwood denying the Dutchman, but it's come back to Anelka. Good effort, but just the challenge by Henry, just enough to block it.
Well, once again, some appalling defending from Blackburn Rovers. Opportunities to clear it. This one from Jeff Kenner hits Overmars, and Anelka, lively, alert. And once again, fortunately for Blackburn, Colin Hendry just managed to get in a tackle, and the ball looped up and over the bar. But really, Blackburn can have no complaints, no surprises, really, because Arsenal are just so dominant, and really they are attacking whenever possible.
Arsenal's first corner led to a goal. This is their second. Different this time, and not nearly so successful. An easy catch for Alan Fettis.
And boy, is he pleased to get that ball into his hands.
Remember, Tim Flowers out with a shoulder injury, hoping to be back before the end of the season. And the Northern Ireland international replacing him because John Phelan, who was second choice at the start of the season, has also been out with a broken arm. He, in fact, is on the subs bench tonight. Davidson gets it back from Wilcox. On it goes to Darlene. Good tackle by Adams. Bergkamp.
I think the fitness angle that you mentioned earlier, Alan, is such an important commodity as far as Arsenal's concerned. They really have got a tough schedule towards the end of the season. But when you see them producing performances like that, not just about the quality of the play, but how strong they look, how much in command, and they certainly don't look as if they're lacking in any areas.
Tremendous kick there by David Seaman. And Bergkamp almost flicked it through to Anelka. Well, you played in an Arsenal Championship team, Brian. I guess when you're playing as well as they are at the moment and winning matches, you're not going to feel tired, are you?
Well, the games can't come quick enough this time of the season when you are playing well. I think the year we won it in '89, actually, we were faltering, we were stuttering, and Liverpool were the team very much in form. And as you know, it came down to the last game, dare I say it, at Anfield when... how did Liverpool go on that night?
Yeah, we all remember that. And Arsenal went on, of course, to win another championship in 1991. 2 in 3 seasons under George Graham. But Arsene Wenger, after 18 months in charge at Highbury, has clearly built another team of championship potential. Now Arsenal have given it away for once. A good-looking ball, and Seaman seemed to react rather late, but got away with it there, as Gallagher's header was directed wide of him.
Well, it's took a long time coming, but this is Blackburn's real first attempt on goal. Kevin Gallagher did very well whatsoever. He's, what, 5'7", 5'8", good delivery from the left-hand side. And the ball just gratefully received by David Seaman to the foot of his right-hand post. But certainly that has warmed the Blackburn Rovers fans up, because they really have been sitting in absolute, utter dismay for most of this first half.
McKinley. Kenner. Hold the defender, Sherwood in possession. And Arsenal forced them all the way back, but they kept possession. Kickoff, Sherwood, McKinley, that's more like it, from Blackburn. Davidson, Wilcox to his left. And 3 in the box for Blackburn. It was just a little over-elaborate in the end as Gallagher tried to side-foot it through to Darlene.
Well, this is really Blackburn Rovers' best move. 5 or 6 passes, and when you actually look at Gary Flitcroft at the far post, he's standing unmarked. He's hoping that Kevin Gallagher would perhaps just let that go past him on the left-hand side, because there was no one marking Flitcroft whatsoever. He certainly would have been in at the far post, but that was better from Blackburn Rovers.
Vieira. And Adams can even afford a little mistake in his own half. Try again, says Vieira. Better touch this time. Bold.
Well, this is just pure keep ball at the moment. You know, really, as Blackburn Rovers are concerned, this is okay when it's 0-0, but they're 3-0 behind.
And there's a great ball over the top from Winterburn to Overmars. Fetis read it. He didn't really want the ball back there with Bergkamp racing in at him. Gallagher. Couldn't quite release Darlene, but he's still there. And in the end, Remigard stepped in to dispossess him. That's better from McKinley, more determined challenge, but yet again, Arsenal win it back. Petit, Vieira, those two have been magnificent in recent matches, the 2 Frenchmen. McKinley's challenge, Flitcroft takes over. Sherwood, Kenner.
Well, really, I think that's the example that Billy McKinley's just shown, but unfortunately for Blackburn Rovers, he's closing players down, and really it's in isolation. I think when you are really behind in the way that Blackburn are in this game, it's about hunting impacts. It's just what Arsenal have done to Blackburn, really, and they have to get 3 or 4 players going searching, going hunting, going looking, perhaps upset the rhythm of Arsenal at the moment, but once again in possession, this is really far too easy.
Well, he's certainly not one of the ranting and raving type of managers, Roy Hodgson, but I think he might just vent his anger at half-time against some of his players here for a really below-par performance. But let's take nothing away from Arsenal. Their lethal finishing, and their sharpness all over the field. Quite outstanding here in the opening 34 minutes now. I understand Arsenal might have a little problem. Fetis had a little problem there. Patrick Vieira's complained to the Arsenal bench that he's suffering from a rib injury. He didn't seem to at that moment as he dived in to win it back off McKinley. And Petit trying a shot. Well, he's not yet managed a goal for Arsenal. Perhaps he feels this is the night.
Well, he really wanted to get it on the act, but once again, just look at the closing down there from Patrick Vieira. Poor Billy McKinley is chasing shadows in that midfield area. And really, Manu Petit, well, I think he'll be looking back with disgruntlement, really. I think the fact to try his luck there from 35, 40 yards, when there was other Arsenal players perhaps in better positions, could have quite easily been another opportunity for Arsenal.
Show tries one over the top. It's very fair to Darlene. Never going to win it against Steve Bold. It's a testimonial season, Steve Bold, as well. He's picked a good season, hasn't he? And same for Lee Dixon, who could well be back in action by the weekend, I gather. Ramigard here is, well, almost third choice, I guess, in that right-back position. Rimondi would have played there had he not been injured. And the news from Highbury is that Ian Wright could be perhaps a couple of weeks away from his reappearance as well. Flickpop, meantime. Adams header, and here's Patrick Vieira. Overmars. Vieira.
Well, I think the Rovers fans are really getting very frustrated at the moment, Alan. I think the fact that they know the side haven't played very well, but I think they're really very, very disappointed was the lack of enthusiasm from their own team, really, with having a place for Europe to play for.
Petit. Vieira. Anelka. Did well. Good ball. Overmars just offside.
Well, that had to be marginal there, but Mark Overmars really very nearly benefiting from superb play from Anelka. What a great turn, how sharp is that? And there's Overmars straying offside. Jeff Kenner holding the line very, very well indeed.
Steve Bold, first rule of defending. They can't score when it's in row X. He's only playing, of course, at the moment, because Martin Keown is out with that eye injury. Now, when you think of some of the key players that Arsenal have lost this season, it makes their form even more remarkable. David Seaman out for a couple of months. Adams has missed a lot of games. And Ian Wright and Dennis Bergkamp have been absent for 31 games between them. McKinley for Blackburn. Davidson. Wilcox to his left. Gallagher came short. Now Wilcox. But Davidson didn't have much chance there against the strength of Patrick Vieira. Well, British boxing's top entertainers, Prince Nassim Hamed and Chris Eubank, are both in action on Sky Box Office this coming Saturday night. 3 world title fights on the bill, and that's the number to call: 0990 800 888, 0990 800 888. And on Sunday, Coventry City against Liverpool is our Super Sunday match on Sky Sports 1. Our programme begins at 3. Mark Overmars takes Arsenal forward. Petit. Winterburn. Offside.
But once again, Alan, looking at the ease of which Arsenal are transferring the ball from right to left in midfield. Again, no pressure. Look how deep Tim Sherwood is having to go to try and get into this game.
Davidson taking on Bergkamp. Confusion between Henry and Wilcox. Presents the ball to Anelka, who's only got one thought in mind here. Went straight for the jugular. Overmars. Paula. He's going to have a shot at any opportunity now. Vieira. Well, that was a 50-50 situation, and Martin Bodnam has decided the foul is in Blackburn's favour. Gallagher. And that was quite a bad challenge by Remy Gard, and I think he's got to be cautioned, really. And he's going to be.
Well, that's really a late challenge from Remy Gard. Kevin Gallagher, quickness, fleet of foot, just slots the ball through Gard's legs, and really it's Gard's late challenge. Kevin Gallagher is caught in his ankle, but he's up. He wants to get back into the game. He knows it's important for him to stay on the pitch.
It's actually his 5th booking of the season, but there's a sort of amnesty now with it being so late in the season. It won't mean a caution, just a warning for him. 5 minutes of the first half remaining. Kinley's free kick. Petit gets it away. Overmars to Anelka. Kinley's there to win it back. Sherwood. Flitcroft. A few boos from the home fans there when Blackburn went backwards rather than forwards. Davidson looking for Darley. Now he's been brought down, and another yellow card. This time for Patrick Vieira.
Yeah, this is a late one also. I think Martin Bodnam has no alternative whatsoever. He's put Gard, and clearly Vieira has got to follow that pattern. But Callum Davidson, well, showing perhaps some enterprise, thankfully for Blackburn, to try and get into forward areas, to push and run, and put this Arsenal back four under pressure.
There were no fewer than 17 yellow cards shown in the last 2 meetings between these two teams, pretty evenly distributed. 2 so far tonight. Bowl heads the free kick away. Back in by Kenner. Gallagher in a good position. Sherwood seemed as though he handled that to me, but got away with it. There's a lovely through ball. Sets Anelka racing forward. Could it be 4? Was there ever any doubt?
Well, that is an absolutely top-class goal. Nicholas Anelka celebrating. There's a long way for Arsenal players to run and join him, but this is a fantastic ball from Winterburn. Anelka using all his pace, and really Blackburn defenders trailing whatsoever. Great composure, great technique to go past Fettis, but just look, he's quite happy to Fettis to sell the dummy. Bang! Great finish, great end to what is a fantastic first half for the away side. 4-0 up. This is magnificent stuff from Arsenal.
2 against Newcastle on Saturday, another tonight. 8 goals now for the man who's been Ian Wright's replacement for the last 3 months. And this young lad, and that's all he is, he's only just turned 19, has grown in stature with Arsenal's tremendous form over the last 4 months.
Well, he really is playing with tremendous composure, great skill, but really with a lot of ability, a lot of presence. I think a lot of people felt when he first came into the side, he really wasn't, he was certainly lacking in that presence. A lot of people felt he was just being knocked off the ball far too easily, but now playing with so much dominance.
Well, I think there'll be a few hostelries in North London and other places dotted around the capital that will be having a bit of fun at the moment, I suspect. And a few households in Manchester, apart from other cities, that will be shifting a little uneasily in their seats. 4 goals inside 40 minutes for Arsenal. And the boring Arsenal tag could never be more inappropriate. Off they go again. But Overmars couldn't control it.
Well, really, that says it all, doesn't it, Alan? The fact that Blackburn have only had 1 attempt, which was a half-header, really, from Kevin Gallagher. But Arsenal having 9 attempts, 5 on target, and really 4 goals to show from it. That's absolutely great statistics as far as the away side's concerned.
Sherwood slipped at the vital moment. card. It's hard to believe that this is not exactly the same 11, but pretty much the same Blackburn team that put up such a spirited and excellent first-half performance just a week ago against Manchester United. And United have to really dig in deep and show their character to come back in the second half of that game.
It's more or less the same Blackburn side that went to Highbury just prior to Christmas, Alan, and gave a fantastic performance, winning that game reasonably comfortably in the end. And when you look at the same players and the fact the same manager, he must be wondering really the fact that have I prepared properly, have I picked the right side, what could we have done differently?
Well, humiliation's a strong word to use, but it really has been that sort of half for Blackburn. They've not been at the races. But I repeat, that is not being fair to Arsenal, who've been quite magnificent. Bergkamp.
I think the disappointing thing is, from Roy Hodgson's concerned, the fact that, yeah, they're 4-0 down, yeah, they haven't defended well, but really they haven't played with any spirit. And I think that's the surprising thing, that's the disappointing thing from his point of view.
45 minutes that will long be remembered by Arsenal fans, I'm sure, no matter what the outcome of the championship race eventually. It all started inside 75 seconds. Dennis Bergkamp, missing for 3 games, back with a vengeance. And he it was who laid on Arsenal's second goal, swept into the net by Ray Parlour. But that wasn't the end of it for him. For the first time ever for Arsenal, a second goal in a game. David Seaman led the celebrations. He hasn't had a save to make, and he stood a long way back to watch Anelka sweep in. Goal number 4. Blackburn 0, Arsenal 4. What a half.
Live from Manchester, an outstanding night of World Championship boxing, including 3 world title fights. Herbie Hyde, the hard-hitting WBO World Heavyweight Champion, defends his title against Damon Reed. World Cruiserweight Champion Carl Thompson faces the one, the only Chris Eubank. Prince Nassim, after his baptism of fire in America, is back for another huge test against Wilfredo Vasquez, the 3 times former world champion. Just who is the best featherweight in the world? What a night for boxing. Double Trouble, Saturday at 9 on Sky Box Office 3.
To book, call 0990 800 800, order early and receive a £5 discount. Check that you can receive this 1D channel before ordering. Cable customers, contact your local operator.
Come on! Pump! Pump! Flies! Isotonic Lucozade sport drinks are designed for top athletes. They get energy to the muscles fast. Tests show they improve sport and performance by increasing their stamina. Tomorrow, endurance training. Lucozade Sport. Dedicated to sport.
Great expectations. Think again. Great expectations.
Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We take to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself Consider yourself part of furniture. Consider yourself
Whatever your financial needs, there's a place on the High Street now open on Sundays. No wonder so many people consider themselves part of the Halifax.
Consider yourself one of us.
There's now even more to enjoy at McDonald's. Introducing the delicious Chili McDouble with cheese. Yours for a fistful of small change.
Fever, fever, fever. Kickstart your weekend with Friday Night Fever, the album. 40 hits, including Spice Girls, Hot Chocolate and Aqua. Plus Sash, Wild Child and Ultranate. You've seen the hit TV series. Now get the album. Friday Night Fever, out now on double CD and cassette.
Friday night football this week features Middlesbrough, who won today, and Manchester City, who were beaten in the last minute by Birmingham. That's Friday at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. And on Sunday at 3 o'clock on Sky Sports 1, it's Coventry against Liverpool. A week ago, Alex Ferguson said Manchester United fought like champions at Blackburn. This evening, Arsenal surely have played like champions. 4-0 half-time. 4 goals from 5 attempts on target. Extraordinary. Blackburn haven't forced a corner yet. Their 70th and 71st bookings of the season, Gard and Vieira. Blackburn have had more of a split of those action areas than we thought perhaps, but the possession, Arsenal's. Well, what on earth are we watching here? The championship performance?
I think that it has been that. I think, maybe not so much performance, I think they've finished extremely well and they've played very, very well indeed, Arsenal. But what they are, or what they look like to me in that 45 minutes, a team that have confidence, belief, they have all the things going for them. And that's why I think when you're in a run like this, Richard, people get mistaken if they, well, they've got a lot of games. That doesn't matter. When you're playing like that and you're in a race for a title, you can play, rest every other day, and you'd be okay, as long as you're winning, as long as you're playing well.
And winning they are. As you said right at the start, Dennis Bergkamp is back because he adds that little bit extra, and didn't he just, in 75 seconds?
Without a doubt, Richard. That's why I said right at the top of the show, he's back in. But this is criminal. Brian Marwood mentioned the defending. Now, right here, here's the first part of it. Colin Henry, he's marking Dennis Bergkamp, and Davidson is front screening him. That is perfect. Now, what happens from here is just a mistake. Lack of communication. The ball's going to be thrown in here. Now, what Colin Henry should do is let the ball go and stay down here with Dennis Bergkamp. He doesn't. He gets attracted in. I think it's his natural desire to go and compete. There he goes. Now, you see that? Now you've got the problem. Both centre-backs are with Anelka. So you've got to win the ball. It's got to now go that way, or else you're going to be in trouble. It doesn't go that way. And from there, you can see Davison can't get back. Cross the goalkeeper. That was a brilliant finish, and what a start after, what, 70, 80 seconds?
75 seconds. Ray Parlour made it 2-0, but in no small part, he had a big debt to Dennis Bergkamp, eh?
This is one of the balls of the season. I mean, we take it away back. I think they're a little bit unlucky, Blackburn, because as he goes up, Colin Henry, they're claiming for handball. As he heads it, you see it come back off Bergkamp's left arm there. The hands go up. Are we getting a free kick? No, we're not.
He couldn't have seen that, though. There's no intent.
Well, there was no intent, but I think from there it's Parlour. Now he's past the midfield, Richard. He's gone past him. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, now I think an ordinary player would have tried to have laid it now and would have given him a problem because he would have had to have beaten someone. But watch the way Bergkamp, no. I'll wait. Now, because he's such a good player, he's opened up this gap here. And watch this. I mean, that's a sensational pass. I think the goalkeeper maybe could have done better with that one. I didn't think he had a chance with Bergkamp's. I think he maybe could have done better with that.
Surely they could have defended the corner better that led to the third.
Yes, they've obviously packed the goal. I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've got everybody back in there. But what we don't see is that they've left that huge gap for the ball to be arrowed there. Now, like a lot of teams, watch them. They're all going to do that now, Richard, and try and play offside. As he hits it, they're not offside. It's a good decision from the linesman, and that's easy for me.
And that was almost game over, but they're not finished yet. Nicholas Anelka right on half-time with the fourth, and a good fourth.
Well, I always said to people, if you've got pace, why come short? He kids him on as if he's going that way, and he's spinning down in here because he knows he's quick. I'll let it run normal speed because that's how quick he is. And when he gets in, now he's playing with such confidence, this young lad, that he can do a little step over, jink past the keeper, the game's over.
Tricks and goals galore, and Arsenal are seriously in the box seat here. 4-0 they lead at Blackburn. The whole of the second half comes next, and today's goals later in the programme.
He's making a change for the thinner.
It's showtime!
The mega movie, The Nutty Professor, tonight at 10:05 on Sky Movie Screen 2.
Who would I most like to have a one-to-one with? A man who inspired a generation, Martin Luther King.
I just want to do God's will.
I'd ask him how he coped with being seen as second class just because the color of his skin.
And I've seen the promised land.
And if there was one incident that drove him to become part of the civil rights movement, was he ever frightened of those who opposed him? And did he realize how much he frightened them? Most of all, if I could have a one-to-one with him, I'd ask him how he maintained his principle of peaceful protest.
We've got some difficult days ahead.
In the face of such provocation.
But it really doesn't matter with me now. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Who would you most like to have a one-to-one with? Our mobile phone service gets people talking.
Bye, darling.
The new Renault Kangoo. Can a van change your life?
Oh, darling.
The van that can.
Every day we put our faith in something or someone to safeguard our future. Every day millions of people put their faith in AXA. AXA. 35 million believe in us worldwide.
This is Ronseal 5-year wood stain. It's a wood stain from Ronseal that's guaranteed to last 5 years. Use Ronseal 5-year wood stain. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
Walk away! We just want the money!
Turn down your light!
It was a robbery gone wrong.
Damn!
We're dealing with a slippery one. Pretty soon this water will be too deep for him to run in.
Now $3 million.
You took the money, didn't you? Yeah, I hid it in the cemetery. You believe him?
Is up for grabs. All they have to do.
I won't have to save your life again.
Is it good or bad?
Is get out of the rain.
The clock is ticking!
Hard rain.
The boots make players more powerful. The ball is faster and truer. World Cup '98. It's about those who love the game enough to do something about it.
time has come to feel the hunger, to rekindle the passion, to find the chemistry, to ignite the fire. With all eyes on the road to France, England take on Portugal. The time has come for magic. The only place to see live coverage of England's World Cup warm-up campaign. A Ford International Football double coming soon on Sky Sports 2.
There's another big night of boxing coming up on Saturday. Prince Naseem Hamed defends his WBO featherweight title against Wilfredo Vazquez. Chris Eubank challenges Carl Thompson for the WBO cruiserweight title. And Herbie Hyde steps into the ring to defend his WBO heavyweight title against Damon Reed. For more information on this special Sky box office event, call 0990 800 888. 0990 800 888. 4-0 Arsenal lead at Ewood Park, which means that Arsenal must concede 5 for the first time ever in the Premiership if they're going to lose here. And you just can't see it, Andy, can you? You can't see them conceding 1 right now.
No, you can't. I think they're dominant, they're confident. They can't possibly not win this game, I don't think. Can't possibly. But it never fails to surprise us football.
I wonder how many of these Rovers fans are thinking back to the years they were chasing Manchester United in the final countdown. Well, it's Arsenal this time around. Should they win here, they'll be a point behind and still have 2 games in hand. That's why they are the current favourites. Let's rejoin Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Thanks, Richard. Welcome back to Ewood Park. I'd love to know what Roy Hodgson had to say to his players during the half-time interval. When you go on coaching courses and you get your coaching licenses, they don't prepare you for moments like this, Brian. 4-0 down against the potential champions. How on earth the Blackburn get back into this?
Well, I think Roy Hodgson will be very much short and sharp. I think he knows they've got to defend better, but also you're the players that have got us into trouble. You're the players that are going to have to get us out of it.
And they are, literally that, because they haven't made any changes, nor have Arsenal, obviously. David Seaman can really have had a quieter 45 minutes this season. Good deep kick by him. Really clear by Kenner. Darlene didn't see very much of the Swede in the first half. Had a good little run in the side when Kevin Gallagher was out suspended and scored 4 in 4 games, in fact. Before Gallagher came back again. Darlene playing tonight because Sutton is out injured. There's a good ball for Bergkamp. Henry read it well and finds Darlene with his clearance. That's better from the Swede. Remy Gard got back to dispossess him, and although David Seaman slightly miskicked his clearance, he got it away from danger.
Well, that really has been the difference between the two sides, Alan. When Blackburn made mistakes, they got punished. When Arsenal have made mistakes, they've always defended very, very well from the second ball. And really, Remy Gard was defending extremely well there on the cover when Darling cut inside.
Good turn by Gallagher. Oh, that's excellent skill by him.
Well, he needed better quality because Kevin Gallagher really did work himself a fantastic opening against Gard here. Just a drop of the shoulders, little ball through his legs, but that's when you're hoping to produce good quality into the box.
Dennis Bergkamp. Mark Overmars helps it on to Anelka. No free kick given, Anelka appeals, but the referee says play on. Kenneth for Blackburn. I'm sure the words pride were mentioned more than once in the Blackburn dressing room at half-time. They're playing for pride now. Surely the game is beyond them. Roy Hodgson himself is a proud man and will be embarrassed, I think, about the way his team have performed so far.
Well, he certainly looks a little bit bemused at the moment. You know, the fact that it's really going to be down to his tactical skills, his coaching abilities. How can his team? What a great challenge for him. How do we get back into this game? Well, we've certainly got to play with a lot more passion and commitment than we did in the first half, and really try and put Arsenal under pressure and see if we can give the fans something to cheer about.
course, to put it in perspective, this time last year, Blackburn were worried about going down. Such has been the transformation since Roy Hodgson took over in the summer. Tony Parks, who did a marvellous job as a manager and is still here, of course, on the coaching staff, just about saved them from the drop. They only had a couple of points more than Sunderland, who did go down. Vieira. Guard. Got lucky in that challenge, but a good ball. Bergkamp flicks it on to Anelka. Space here for Wilcox, not too much of that in the first half. Darlene. And Adams just used his know-how to win it back. And Parler releases it really early, and it's come through to Overmars. It really should have been 5.
Well, absolutely spot on, and really that's a terrific save from Alan Fettis. Mark Overmars can't believe it. Fantastic ball from Pollard, but just look at Oncho. He gives up the ghost, really. He thinks Jeff Kenner is covering behind him. He certainly wasn't, and it's a frantic clearance in the end. Really, Mark Overmars should have buried that and really put Blackburn Rovers. If they're not out of sight already, they certainly should have been.
Well, Fettis will feel a lot better about that save. But it's going to make much difference, I would think, to the outcome here. Now Darlene. But there is a new purpose about Blackburn at the start of this half. There'd have to be, wouldn't there?
I think what will be disappointing Roy Hodgson, when you look over the season as a whole, the fact they've done superbly well up till Christmas and really have dramatically fallen away. That's certainly an area that he will need to put right in the summer when he begins to add 1 or 2 new faces to this squad.
And it's obviously Easter now because it's snowing. Gallagher, good ball on. Wilcox perhaps needed a cross earlier than that. Manigard forced him wide. And Tony Adams completes the clearance. McKinley. Well, the game needed this, really. It needed a revival in terms of neutrals. Well, Arsenal fans will be agreeing with me, but it'll make it a better contest if they can step up the pace as they have done early on here, Blackburn. Kenner. That's a decent ball. Gallagher!
Oh, this is a magnificent finish from Kevin Gallagher. And really, Arsenal, when you do expect better defending, there's a great quality ball from the wide position from Jeff Kenner. They've opened Arsenal up extremely well. That's top quality. But really, again, God should have been round covering. He wasn't. And Kevin Gallagher, well, hasn't he finished it with great aplomb? David Seaman, no chance whatsoever. In the snow, in the rain. It really has given the Blackburn fans some belief.
Goal number 19 of the season for Kevin Gallagher. The best total of his career in club football. And he was also, of course, Scotland's top scorer in their World Cup qualifiers.
Well, this ground has certainly witnessed some goals, hasn't it, this season? There's been some incredible scorelines here at Ewood Park. Could this be another one?
Yes, it's maintained its average of 4 goals per game in the Premiership and gone one better. And there's still a long time to go. Well, the weather has taken a dramatic turn for the worse. Could the second half do so for Arsenal? Well, I suppose we should never be surprised about anything that happens in this great game. McKinley. Sherwood. Darlene in a race which he was always going to lose against David Seaman.
Well, they really are playing with a greater degree of passion and commitment now, Blackburn Rovers. Certainly the areas which we felt they were deficient in the first half, they couldn't get close to Arsenal. Subsequently, Arsenal had so much possession. And really in the second half, Blackburn have come out really with any disregard whatsoever for reputations and certainly that first half inept performance. And they look a different side. They certainly have been transformed.
Well, if you were thinking of switching off because the game was virtually over, think again. Mind you, I still think Blackburn's best hope is if the snow keeps falling and sticks and the match gets abandoned. But at least they're making a game of it. And how at the moment? Gallagher. Vieira in the right place. Anelka. Well played. Overmars to his left. Didn't see him early enough. Callum Davidson plays one over the top to Darlene. Handball surely.
Yeah, there's no real doubt whatsoever about that. Martin Darlene always looking for the opportunity to go in behind. Kevin Gallagher is coming short. Good set-up play, and there he's clearly handled the ball with his right arm. Martin Boddenham spotting it through the snow. Did very well whatsoever, but again, this is better from Blackburn, and they're playing with a greater tempo, they're playing with a higher passion, and because of that, they're beginning to trouble Arsenal.
Well, the Frenchmen and the other foreigners in Arsenal's ranks, I suppose they were told when you come to England, you get a bit of dodgy weather around about December, January time, but once you get to April, the pitches get hard, the sun comes out.
And the cricket season starts.
Yeah, the cricket season starts, and here we are, and it's snowing.
Well, actually, the Blackburn Rovers fans believe there's some belief about getting back into this game. They really have upped the ante as far as they're concerned, and well, Petit kicking the ball away, being booked, very petulant, but him and Vieira got to begin to get a grip back on this game, because if Blackburn get another one, well, who knows?
It looks as though it's gone out, and indeed the linesman confirms that. So 3 Arsenal players yellow carded tonight: Remy Gard, Patrick Vieira and Emmanuel Petit, but I repeat, there's no danger of any of them being suspended on the accumulation of yellow cards, because we're so close to the end of the season. But they have, of course, got a guard against a red card. That's a different matter.
Well, although Arsene Wenger won't be pressing any panic buttons at the moment, I think he'd be a little bit disturbed, his side of being forced back in the manner that they have done. And full credit to Blackburn Rovers. I'm sure that Arsenal would have expected them to come out and give a better performance in the second half, and they certainly look charged up for this second 45.
Well, it's a Christmas card scene at Ewood Park at the moment. 10 minutes into the second half. Arsenal leading 4-1. Playing for the 3 points, which would see them go to within 1 point of the leaders Manchester United, with still 2 games in hand. And the tackle's flying in now. Here's Remy Gard taking on Callum Davidson. Oh, it's a tremendous run. Parler. In the middle is Anelka, played it in behind him, and it almost found its way through to Overmars. Kenner keeps it in. It's unbelievable now, this weather. I might need the old orange ball in a moment. Sherwood. Unlucky. Yeah. And Callum Davidson's injured at the moment, so well, somehow or other he got a tackle in. I don't know how, because he'd been limping moments before that.
It always happens, doesn't it? Just when you don't want the ball to come anywhere near you. And there was Ray Parler picking the ball up, just looking to run at him again. I think that's a groin strain. Certainly that'll be disappointing for him on his debut, but really Ray Parler again attacking them down this right-hand side. And I think that's just a slip, and perhaps because of the conditions. But just look, really, the way Ray Parler's just about to go past Colin Hendry, and your fear about it sticking is lying on the ground at the moment.
And Uriah Rennie, the 4th official, has brought the orange ball into play. Well, this could only happen in England, couldn't it? And poor old Callum Davidson, who had a hamstring injury when he came here from St Johnstone, which prevented him making his debut earlier, sees his first appearance end in great disappointment. And Patrick Valery, the Frenchman, will take his place.
22, Patrick Valery.
That ball sticks and almost caused a problem for Fetis. Bold underneath it. McKinley pumping it out to Wilcox. Wilcox again. Gallagher tried to touch it onto Darley. Sherwood picks up the loose ball and holds off the challenge from Vieira. Winterburn gets it clear. Kenner. Flickcroft. David Seaman was too grateful for that back pass. But suddenly, Arsenal break again now. Overmars sprinting down the left. Anelka unmarked for the moment on the edge of the box, but he delayed the cross too long.
Well, that was a great tackle from Stefan Honshaw. We can't have said that too many times this evening, but really that was far better defending.
Players slipping now as the conditions get increasingly difficult. Vieira, Anelka, gaps opening up again in Blackburn's defence, and Overmars unmarked on the left. Great skill. Out it comes to Bergkamp. Tried a little chip, which didn't come off.
Well, he saw Fetis was a long way off his line, and Bergkamp, as you would expect, always trying the unexpected. He knew Fetis was a long way from his lines, just his quality was lacking, and well, that certainly, you can't say that too many times, but again now, because of the conditions, Alan, it's about not taking any chances.
And suddenly Overmars bursts clear, and Fetis did really well.
Well, again, really, Blackburn Rovers can have no complaints whatsoever. Alan Fetis must be fuming with his back four, really square once again, a simple through ball, and really, I think Mark Overmars certainly didn't realise.
Here's Wilcox for Blackburn.
But again, this is just a straightforward ball over the top. Blackburn coming out, and really very, very fortunate whatsoever that Fetis was acting as a great sweeper keeper.
Wilcox again. Well, I think we were all thinking it could be a bit dull this second half. Arsenal 4-0 up, cruising to victory.
Lovely evening.
Lovely evening, half an hour to go. Dull, it ain't. Honshaw. McKinley, full credit to Blackburn for making a game of it, even if the scoreline doesn't quite uphold that. Valery given away clumsily there by Darlene. Parla loses out to McKinley. Gallagher, Sherwood. Shot was by Flickcroft. Blackburn's throw.
Oh, it was a great block from Nigel Winterburn, because I don't think that would have been far away, and it's always a difficult one to certainly follow in conditions like this. Any shots on target.
And Darlene with a rather weak effort, a header.
Well, it was always going to be difficult for him, Alan, because he was always backtracking from the cross. Very, very difficult to get any power in the header whatsoever. But again, Blackburn have got to begin to probe and start looking to where they got their goal from. And that was in wide areas. That was good quality crossing. That time it was Jeff Kenner. But Wilcox has got to get into it more. Flickcroft's got to get into it more. And they've got to try and produce some quality.
Arsenal have it back. And do they have a corner? Yes, the eagle-eyed linesman somehow or other saw that ball cross the line. Arsenal's fourth corner of the game. Blackburn still to register in that column. And strangely enough, Blackburn have won more corners than any team in the Premiership this season. There's a real anorak fact for you. Bold and Adams both in the 6-yard box. And Anelka got the header in.
Well, again, it really is straightforward defending or lack of defending. Nicholas Anelka, super little run, and there just against Honshaw, and really that wasn't far away, because there he is, just a straight little shoulder, showing great strength, great anticipation from the corner. But that's a ball really Blackburn Rovers should have dealt with.
Parlour. Bergkamp couldn't control it. Here's Henry. Now Wilcox. Darlene. One back again by Vieira. Bergkamp chipping it through. Anelka, one-on-one if he can get round the last defender, but he couldn't. On show, back to Fetis. Vieira, a colossus in the middle of the field. Wins it back, but Petit has given it away to McKinley. Now Sherwood. Flitcroft, waiting for support from Kenner down the right, and did that well. Good play then by Gallagher. Valerie. That's gone out. Well, that is my definition of a nutter.
It's a full Monty, isn't it?
I hope not. Darley. Oh, good ball into Gallagher, who went down, and the referee had a long look at the challenge from Petit. Gallagher is furious, but Martin Boddenham says play on, no penalty.
Well, Manu Petit is a very, very fortunate man indeed, because Kevin Gallagher, as you would expect, always looking to go into dangerous areas, and it was Petit really that looked as if he dragged him back.
The ball's been given away again by Blackburn, whose fans are still furious about that award going against them. Parlour. Henry winning it back. Now McKinley. Darlene. McKinley. Good ball. Wilcox. Driven in hard and low. Danger! And Darlene couldn't quite get the touch when Gallagher had just played it across the box to him.
Well, this really is a quality cross from Jason Wilcox. Unfortunately for Blackburn, it misses two players. Gallagher the first one, Darlene at the second attempt. Really just couldn't quite get his foot around it. But this is a penalty incident, and just look at Petit's arm there. And well, was there a push? Was there a little nudge? There may just have been enough there. Martin Boddenham had a good look at it. If there was an infringement, I think the first arm that went up was outside the box. He's put his arm across him there, and really Gallagher is looking for the trip. Martin Boddenham had a good look at it.
Here's Winterburn for Arsenal. Overmars. And now gone out of play, Blackburn's throw. And sorry to disappoint the Manchester United fans, but the snow's easing off. The chance of an abandonment is going with it. Vieira. Bergkamp. 4 in this Arsenal attack. And Vieira leaves it to Overmars. It's a good save from Fetis. Not an easy one. Well, these conditions.
Sorry, Alan, once again, Overmars find himself in oceans of space, really. And when you look at the covering here, Jeff Kenner has come in, tried to block Vieira. Overmars at the far post. Left foot Everett really has got to try and hit the far post, really, rather than the near post. He's got to drag that back across the goal. Comfortable save in the end for Fetis.
Gallagher. Did well. Darlene in the middle. That took a deflection. And Blackburn get their first corner of the game.
Well, it's a good run from Kevin Gallagher. Unfortunately, couldn't quite produce the quality into the box. But again, Blackburn showing greater moments. But when Arsenal are counter-attacking, they really are leaving one against one at the back. They're playing a very dangerous game.
And we're coming forward for this first corner. Very clear on the near post by Ray Parlour it was. Valerie. McKinley finding Sherwood. McKinley's there again. Parlour has it back for Arsenal. Now Vieira. Oh, that was almost a perfect through ball. But almost not good enough. Now McKinley. McKinley. Sherwood. Winterburn doing well there in a difficult situation. And the snow seems to be falling heavily again now. Sherwood. Gallagher. At least I think it's him. Hard to see some of them out there now. Here's Valerie. Darlene. It's a disappointing night, really, Martin Darlene.
Well, he's told away, hasn't he, up front for Blackburn Rovers. He hasn't had an awful lot to deal with in the way of service. But really, Arsenal now certainly taking the sensible approach, you feel. Nicholas Anelka, who really has been outstanding for Arsenal. He has troubled Honcho and Hendry all evening. And I think that given the circumstances, Ian Wright perhaps a couple of weeks away still from being fit, allows David Platt to come into the fray.
Platt, who scored in the 1-1 draw against Blackburn at Highbury 12 months ago. Spent most of his season on the substitutes bench for Arsenal.
Certainly not unfamiliar territory for David Platt to go into a more forward position, but it'll be a long, long time since perhaps he played as a striker.
Yes, he's been pushed into that role in a couple of recent games coming off the bench, but well, he's such a talented player, there'll be no problem for him, I'm sure. Here's Valerie. Arnshaw. And the weather can't make its mind up. One moment the snow is falling heavily, and it eases, and it comes back again. One back by Vieira.
Actually, when you look at players perhaps getting a little bit more pride back, and we talked about that, didn't we, in the second half? Pride and passion. I think Billy McKinley has certainly set the tone for Blackburn in the second half. They may not have got back into this game as far as goals are concerned, but really he is the one that's tried to put Vieira and Petit under pressure, and he's trying to start some of Blackburn's better moves.
Into the last 20 minutes then, Arsenal have quite literally weathered the early storm here in the second half. Although they did concede one goal, they haven't really looked in danger since. And indeed, it's Arsenal who come closest to another goal themselves. But here's Sherwood. He's had a good season in terms of goal scoring. 7 in the League and Cup for Blackburn. In fact, his best since he came here.
Well, it was a snatch attempt from the edge of the box from Tim Sherwood, but really they are looking for him to try and get into forward positions. Certainly very difficult against an Arsenal side that defend in the manner that they have done for most of this game so far. And really, David Seaman, once again, has been well protected.
Well, I bet he wishes he was in Monaco at the moment. It might be a bit warmer there, but in every other sense, his arrival at Highbury has transformed Arsenal and underlined what a shrewd judge of the game he is. Manager of the month, of course, Arsene Wenger. He'll be leading his team out at Wembley in the FA Cup final. He almost got there in the Coca-Cola Cup, and who knows, he could well be a championship-winning manager in, well, a very short space of time from now.
I think when you said about Arsenal weathering the storm, they have done, and they've defended very, very well indeed, Alan. But really, Blackburn, again, you're just looking for them to up the tempo once more.
Wilcox playing it in, Sherwood's there. Arsenal win it back. Overmars. Kenner is the defender. Winterburn providing the option. It's a strange ball that from Overmars, and not a very good one. Straight to Valerie. And that challenge by Remy Gard on Gallagher has given Blackburn a free kick. Remy Gard not too pleased with Gallagher's reaction, but it certainly was a foul. And he is on a yellow card, of course, Gard. in towards Darlene, but that's a difficult ball for him.
Well, you're really hoping the ball can be dropped in a little bit lower than that. Colin Hendry hitting that 40 yards diagonally, and the ball has just followed its way through to David Seaman. But really, Blackburn are playing now at the tempo and the pace that they were at the first half, and that got them into so much trouble. And they came out supercharged in the second half. I'm sure that Roy Hodgson had one or two harsh words to say, and the players came out showing a lot more pride, a lot more passion. But really, certainly Arsenal have nullified that, and they've weathered that particular storm, and very much comfortable at the moment for them.
It's 4.5 months since Arsenal were last beaten in an away game in the Premiership. That was at Sheffield Wednesday. And clearly, their incredible run of form is going to continue tonight. This is going to turn, I'm sure, into their 9th win in their last 10 league games. 0891 11 1101 is the number to call with your vote for man of the match. Well, there's no one better at rising to the challenge than Manchester United, and Arsenal certainly have thrown out a challenge with their form in the last 4 months. Still to play for Arsenal after tonight, Wimbledon, Derby and Everton, all those matches at Highbury, Barnsley, Liverpool and Aston Villa away.
Certainly fancy them against anybody at the moment, Alan. The way they're playing, the way they're showing great composure, great skill, great tenacity, and really when you see them break it in the manner that they do, and the quality of their finishing, which we've witnessed this evening, well, I'm sure that the sides that you've mentioned there certainly won't be looking forward to playing against Arsenal at the moment.
Sherwood driving forward, finding Wilcox. Chance here for Blackburn. Hit it well. David Seaman did even better.
Well, really, you're looking for Jason Wilcox to arrow that back towards the far post, aren't you? But again, a super move for Blackburn Rovers. A good passing, good play, and unfortunately, Jason Wilcox couldn't really find the direction he was looking for.
Wilcox again. Gives it away this time to Winterburn. Mark Overmars. Vieira. Tony Adams finding Parla. The touch on. Not quite successful as Hendry wins it back. Here's Darlene. Goes down under the challenge from Bold. But again, Martin Bodnam waves play on. And again, for that challenge on Overmars. Flitcroft. Support arrives from Kenner. And out it goes again to Gary Flitcroft. This is McKinley. And Arsenal just funnel men back behind the ball. But now the cross intercepted by Vieira. Overmars wanted it early. Now it's Platt. Bergkamp has peeled away to the left. Vieira. There's a late challenge there by McKinley on Vieira, which has left him in some pain.
Well, really, this looks a bad injury to Patrick Vieira. Billy McKinley, very determined, looking for the challenge. Vieira coming in, certainly looking to try an effort on goal, and he's caught it very late indeed. Billy McKinley, we talked about the tenacity of him in this midfield area. Certainly in the second half, it's been there for everybody to see, and that certainly was there for Patrick Vieira to see. That was a crunching challenge, and I think he will be in trouble with that one.
Well, I'm sure if there's the slightest injury problem here, he'll be off, Vieira, because with Arsenal's situation, they've got another match, of course, on Saturday. Then, well, almost a break by the standards of their arduous season before those final games. Anyway, if they're about to make a change. We'll find out in a moment, but clearly Blackburn are, with the youngster James Beattie and the experienced Stuart Ripley coming on. Vieira, meantime, is on his feet.
Suffering from the adverse weather conditions, so please, when you're driving home, do take extra care.
But he's looking a little bit sore.
Well, it certainly isn't worth the risk, Alan, when you're 4-1 up, certainly very much in the ascendancy. Time ticking away, certainly it really isn't worth taking any risks whatsoever.
Says he feels so much stronger and fitter than he did at this stage last season, Patrick Vieira, but not at the moment, I suspect. Darlene and McKinley, the two players to make way here for Blackburn. Ripley and the 20-year-old James Beattie, very inexperienced player, only a handful of first-team games, are the men who have come on.
Well, Ripley will go wide right, Alan. He's accustomed position, and really Gary Flitcroft will come into a more central role, certainly perhaps a role that he enjoys far more than you get the feeling he does, playing in that wide right position that Blackburn have tended to play him over the last couple of months. He'll be looking to get into the thick of the action, certainly in that midfield area, and try and put Vieira and Petit under pressure.
Vieira, who has come back on. And here he is. A good ball, too, for Platt. Wilcox. Adams with the clearance. Not the prettiest, but pretty effective.
Well, the first one might not have been up to high standards, but the second one was.
And we move towards the final 10 minutes at Ewood Park. With Arsenal in control here. And I repeat, assuming there isn't a catastrophic end to the game for them, they're going to be 1 point behind Manchester United at the close of play tonight, with 2 games still in hand on the champions.
Well, it's incredible how quickly the season can change around, really. There's a sort of bookmaker in Manchester, wasn't he, paying out a few weeks ago, really, on Manchester United winning the title, but really Arsenal have perhaps come from nowhere. A side very much in form, showing great composure, great skill and great organisation to sustain the run that they've been on recently. And really, when you look at the form that they're in at the moment, Alan, you know, would you bet against them winning this title?
And the possibility of Ian Wright being unleashed for the run-in as well. Also Martin Keown to come back in a couple of games' time. And Lee Dixon quite possibly fit for the next fixture. Turned forward by Petit. Bergkamp was coming back from an offside position. It's a quiet game, oddly enough. He scored and made a goal early on. I haven't seen too much of him since, but he's done his bit.
So the damage has been done, hasn't it, really? I'm sure that he'll be delighted, and Arsene Wenger will be delighted with the way that he's come in this evening, having missed a few games. We've seen it in the past from Dennis Bergkamp, and things haven't always gone his way, but really tonight, instrumental in scoring a goal and making one.
And if that's all he does in every game from now to the end of the season, no one from Arsenal will complain. Here's Ripley. And the snow has finally halted. Finding Valerie. Adams wins it back. Overmars, however, presents it to Sherwood. Flitcroft sweeping it out to Ripley, encouraged by the crowd to take on Winterburn, and does so very effectively. Platt stopped him getting the cross in early. Vieira's clearance.
But again, great defending from Arsenal. And what they do very, very well, Alan, is defend well with two banks of four, the back four and the midfield four, and then they'll look to spring like this.
It was flat furthest forward, but a very good challenge by Onshow.
Well, he's had a tough evening, hasn't he? He's blowing quite heavily at the moment. He knows that he's been put under pressure, and I'm sure that he hasn't faced this type of attacking onslaught that he certainly faced in the first 45 minutes.
Ripley. And a foul there by him on Winterburn gives Arsenal a free kick. Well, I said he'd done his bit, and I think that just about underlined it, really.
Well, if you're going to get chances, you've got to hit the target, and if you're going to make important passes, 17 out of 20 isn't bad, really, and certainly the two key passes, or the one key pass that created the goal for Ray Parlour, really was out the top draw.
Here's Ripley again. And youngster Beattie getting it back to Kenner. Sherwood. All of the Blackburn fans already making their way home now. And in fairness to their team, at least they have restored a bit of pride to themselves in this second half. They played with a lot more determination. But it's Arsenal who break clear again with the ball. Overmars, Bergkamp to his left. And back it goes. The Dutch combination could forge another one here for Arsenal. Just too many men in the end, and if they'd have been doing that kind of defending in the first half, Blackburn might not have been in the trouble they find themselves in now.
Well, it was superb 1-2, wasn't it, between Mark Overmars and Dennis Bergkamp, really carving Blackburn Rovers open, and as you rightly said, Alan, showing greater determination to defend and protect Alan Fettis's goal. And Stefan Onshow really having a miserable evening, really has been run ragged in every opportunity.
Over the top, and the header by Sherwood. Kenner. His cross. Wilcox. Sort of helped it back in, really, and that made it easy for David Seaman.
Well, it was a nothing cross, really. Jason Wilcox really just helping the ball up in the air, and really David Seaman catching it quite comfortably at the far post. It really needed to have a little bit more bite on the cross to have any impact whatsoever.
Well, I think it might be Arsenal players who figure highest the man of the match vote for tonight. 0891 11 01 is the number to ring now.
Well, this fella Patrick Vieira, I'm sure, won't be too far away from people's thoughts this evening. He really was outstanding in the first 45 minutes. Magnificent in that midfield area.
Stephen Hughes about to come on to replace, I think, Mark Overmars, is it? Who's been suffering, of course, the last 2 or 3 weeks with an ankle injury. So, again, a sensible move. Stephen Hughes, who also came on for the last few minutes for Overmars against Newcastle on Saturday, does likewise. Well, here's Tony Adams joining the attack. Now, Tony, look, I know you're 4-1 up. I know you're in the cup final. I know you might win the league, but are you sure?
You know, when you said joining the attack, I think you could loosely describe that one, can't you? We certainly gave the fans something to take home anyway. It was a match ball.
Travelling towards Preston. No, Preston New Road is closed.
Bold winning the header.
Hotel, which used to be the motehouse, to the windmill.
And all these public address announcements about various road problems because of the snow could make it a long journey home for the Arsenal fans. Somehow or other, I don't think they'll mind.
Thank you.
And suddenly, Remy Gard breaks clear down the right-hand side. Bergkamp in the middle. Platt in behind him. It's Bergkamp. And it's not one of his best efforts.
Well, this is a superbly engineered move, really, and Remy Gard has broke free. But just look at Colin Hendry. He tries to anticipate the ball into Stephen Hughes, and the ball goes past him. Remy Gard showing great composure. He knows where Bergkamp is. There you go, Dennis. Finish that one. Got to be better, certainly finishing. You would expect better from him, wouldn't you?
Into the last couple of minutes. Wilcox. Blackburn's tendency to concede goals at a rather alarming rate in recent matches has been their undoing tonight. Although they have come back well here in the second half and could get another themselves. They've got to settle for a corner. Arsenal fully deserve the points.
Well, that's super play from Patrick Vieira. It's got to be said, really. Kevin Gallagher showing certainly great skill, great endeavour on the edge of the box, flicked the ball over the centre-half's head, and there was Patrick Vieira covering so well.
And Sherwood coming in on the near post. The header flicked off an Arsenal defender. It's another corner.
Well, he couldn't quite get the header he was looking for. It was Patrick Vieira again that the ball hit his shoulder and looped over for another corner for Blackburn.
Flickcroft will help it back in, and it was Bold who got it clear this time, only as far as Wilcox. Henry's shouting for the ball on the far post, seemed to pull down Tony Adams, but the referee didn't see it, and Arsenal break anyway. Ray Park. Well, if you're looking for comparisons, if you're looking for omens, remember a week ago Manchester United came here and won a tight game by drawing on their character. It's been a very different sort of display by Arsenal tonight. It'll be interesting to see how Roy Hodgson, the Blackburn manager, would compare the two defeats for his side by the two championship challenges. Assuming there are only two. Liverpool and one or two other teams might say, hang on, don't forget about us.
Sure, he'll emphasise, though, that when he looked at his team's performance against Manchester United last week, Alan, and looking at his team performance here this evening, really they are poles apart. They certainly haven't performed with the tenacity, the skill, the composure that they showed last week against Manchester United.
But producing a late rally here. Ripley. Frustrating night for the Blackburn manager. Arsenal have lost just 6 out of 47 league and cup matches this season. Only 4 defeats now in 32 Premiership games. That is the form of potential champions. There's no doubt about that. The statistics don't lie in this case. Belief and confidence will carry on to the next game now, and the game after that. They can put the cup final out of their minds and concentrate on catching and maybe even overhauling Manchester United. What a tremendous finale to this season is in prospect now. Offside decision in Arsenal's favour here.
Well, they'll just be playing out time at the moment, Alan, because this has really been a terrific performance. I'm sure people up and down the country are witnessing potential champions, and really if they play in the manner and the fashion that they've done this evening, well, who's to stop them? And really you've got to ask that question, because you really can see them going on from here.
They've reached their 13th FA Cup final, just one short of the record held by Manchester United. They're bidding for their 11th league title, which would also equal a Manchester United record. Here's Winterburn. Bergkamp well placed in the centre. The little nod down to Platt. Good challenge there by Henry. It's all over, and Arsene Wenger's team have moved to within a point of the leaders, Manchester United, and crucially, they have 2 games in hand. Ray Parlour and Dennis Bergkamp took the honours in a quite sensational first half here at Ewood Park. And although it's sub-zero at the moment, they want to show you the badge with pride. And Arsenal wore that badge with pride tonight. Bergkamp getting them off to the best possible start inside 75 seconds. Parlour joined in the fun. And then, for the first time in his senior career as an Arsenal player, added a second goal for himself. 3-0 to Arsenal at that stage. Blackburn were being swept aside. And Nelka kept calm and added a fourth just before half-time. Blackburn had to salvage some kind of pride as the snow fell in the second half. They did that. Gallagher with an early goal for them, but they were never able to build upon it. And Arsenal have taken one more crucial step towards a possible league title. The final score, Blackburn Rovers 1, Arsenal 4.
And we've got some football coming up next weekend. Friday night, Middlesbrough against Manchester City, with separate ambitions, of course, in the First Division. Sunday at 1 o'clock, it's Grimsby against Bournemouth, the Auto Windscreen Shields, Bournemouth, Auto Windscreen Shields final. And on Sunday at 3, Coventry against Liverpool. That's on Sky Sports 1. 0891111101 is the man of the match number. Give us a call. And immediately after the break, we'll be looking back on some of today's Premiership goals. That's next on the Monday Night Football.
Live from Manchester, an outstanding night of World Championship boxing, including 3 world title fights. Herbie Hyde, the hard-hitting WBO World Heavyweight Champion, defends his title against Damon Reed. World Cruiserweight Champion Carl Thompson faces the one, the only Chris. Another huge test against Wilfredo Vastez, the 3-time former world champion. Just who is the best featherweight in the world? What a night for boxing. Double Trouble, Saturday at 9 on Sky Box Office 3.
To book, call 0990 800 800, order early and receive a £5 discount. Check that you can receive this 1D channel before ordering. Cable customers contact your local operator.
Where were you when we hammered the Dutch in '96? Personally, I can give you longitude and latitude. And why is the bloke behind you always a football genius?
And it comes to the bloke behind you! How did he score from there?
Isn't it strange? Everyone's had a trial, but no one's ever played. And you know they put that typewriter sound on after. If you don't want to know the score, look away now.
Shouldn't your boss's package be one less thing for you to worry about?
Received by Robert Davidson 12 minutes ago.
UPS. Consider it done.
Yes! Yeah, I've got a ticket!
Bonjour. Bonjour. Ah non, je suis désolée, vous ne pouvez pas rentrer.
For all the facts, get our guide in next month's football magazines.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could I have a box of electricity, please?
Economy or family size?
Economy, please.
Imagine a world where electricity wasn't invisible. You'd see the product that we make everywhere, in thousands of workplaces and millions of homes.
100,000 boxes for British Steel.
What brand of electricity do you use? Power gen.
Our name would be a household name.
Power gen.
Not only here, but abroad. In fact, it would be impossible to imagine life without us. Power Gen. We're the power behind power.
Deutsche Ingenieure stellen tolle Reifen her. Aber miese Dachterrassen. Continental. Tires engineered in Germany.
Bet you it's there by 10 past 10.
No, 10:25. 10 o'clock.
No way.
Betcha.
Yes.
Online tracking from UPS. Consider it done.
Today, so wake up, 'cause this is the time. You know I'm right.
Hi.
Because you never know when you'll meet the girl of your dreams, you need long-lasting odor protection. Gillette has created continuous protection antiperspirant for long-lasting protection.
Thanks.
That keeps you ready for anything.
And now, new small-size Pringles. Absolutely stacked full of chips for when you're on the go, so when you can't stop, you can still pop.
Shouldn't your boss's package be one less thing for you to worry about?
Received by Robert Davidson 12 minutes ago.
UPS. Consider it done.
The only fact that matters tonight is that Arsenal have won it 4-1. 17 attempts in the end across the 90 minutes, on target with 8, scored 4. Not enough from Blackburn, Andy, really, wasn't it?
Not really. I mean, that's pretty impressive, Richard, to go away and have 17 attempts. And it wasn't a physical game. We talked about all the bookings. Look at that. Only, what, 18 fouls committed the whole game?
3 booked, 70, 71 and 72 in total for Arsenal this year now. First half, despite all those goals, Blackburn made a fair fight of it in the action areas, but the possession then was Arsenal's across the 90 minutes, while Blackburn had 51%. Man of the match?
Somebody in red and white.
Ray Parlour, as it turns out, with 62% of the vote. 2 goals for the first time in a senior match. Here he is with George Gavin.
Ray, devastating first half. The first time you've scored 2 goals, I think, for Arsenal. Couldn't be a better time, could it?
Yeah, obviously Dennis got the first one, which was important, and then obviously we got another 3, which half time was really surprised, you know. So, but it was a great performance first half. Second half we drizzled out a bit, but good performance in all.
How much of a boost was the start you got after 75 seconds from Dennis?
Yeah, unbelievable. We didn't expect that. Great finish, and then obviously we went on from there. It's a great platform for us, and we carried on from there.
How much belief is there in the Arsenal squad now?
Obviously we come here confident, you know. We've been playing well lately, and we thought we could get a result, which we did, and we're over the moon, you know.
Do you believe if you carry on playing the way you did, especially in the first half, the title's got to be yours?
No, we're not thinking like that at the moment. We take one game at a time, and if it does come to us in the season, it'd be great. But at the moment, we're just concentrating one game at a time and see what happens.
Is it hard to believe, between the 2 Blackburn games, one in December, one now, how much form you've put in?
Yeah, we've had a really good run coming up. The last 3 or 4 months, which is important. And we're really strong at the moment, so we're looking forward to putting a good challenge in.
But no claims yet about the title?
No, not yet. There's a long way to go, a lot of points to be played for. So we just take one game at a time and see what happens.
Ray, great performance. Calling man of the match. Well played, Ray. Thanks very much.
And Ben Hawkins from Itchingham in East Sussex wins the replica Ray Parlour jersey tonight. I think it's fair to say, Andy, we thought it was going to be tighter than that. So what have we seen there tonight? Poor Blackburn performance or a terrific Arsenal performance?
A little bit of both. I thought that, I mean, when you score after 75 seconds, Richard, and you're on the kind of run that team's on, Arsenal, Blackburn must have thought, oh no. They've hardly conceded a goal in 10 games, I think, prior to tonight. Only 1, I think, against Newcastle on Saturday. And so they're thinking right away they're on a downer. But they didn't defend well, but the finishing was clinical. We saw at half-time 5 shots on target and